Right, so it's race 3 and time to lose my voice. It's Leon, by the looks of it, on pole from Brian, and then Andrew, Jeff, Kevin, Ash, Nick, Chris, the rest. And at the back, obviously, race 2 and 1 winner is Nathan, and Lewis is there as well. But can Leon get this thing off the line? He's been trouble in the first 2 races, and I'm sure he's got everything crossed. The number 251 that his dad used to race in stock cars. And no, it's not going to happen. Can everyone avoid him? It looks like so far no. Oh, Chris in the Mustang has rammed him, and well, it's no one's fault. Again, must blame the game for that. But right, we'll go back to the start now and look from a different angle. And a good start from Brian then as he takes the lead, and his teammate coming through as well. Well, Kevin through the middle. Great start from him as he has a bit of contact with Andrew, and the BMW is forcing his way down the inside, and Ben's going around the outside of 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars as he moves up from 11th place to 5th. An audacious overtake, but it looks like it's now actually Kevin that leads, so Brian got forced out of the first corner, and unlucky for Brian, but it is Kevin that leads, and he's quite used to that situation in other racing series. And down the inside, Ben trying to get past Rob, who I seem to be getting mixed up for Chris, and I don't really understand why. But Rob round the outside, and off goes Brian again. So Brian having a bit of a torrid first lap, and down the grass goes probably Ash, I would have thought that was, trying to get past him as well. So everyone's splitting left and right, trying to avoid all the contact. Sideways from Rob again. He's doing a lot of that in race 2. And off goes the other BMW Golden Eye car, and into the barrier from Nick. Right, so the 2 Toyotas running together, and down the inside, and Kevin's already getting a massive lead. Jeff is sideways and wide, just about holds on though, although Rob trying to go on the outside. Bit of door bashing from Andrew and Ben, basically returning the favour, and Andrew's brake early and he's gone wide. With contact again with Ben, so these 2 are at each other, and who's that on the grass? That looks like Jeff with a big issue, and he's dropping back. Maybe got some damage, and that will take 20 seconds to release the car again. Lewis making ground though. He's already alongside a BMW of Sean. Sean's had a good start as well because he was at the back. And you can see Nathan's already come through a little bit as well. He's up to 7th place from the very back, so 15th to 7th in 1 lap. But it is Kevin that's pulling away very, very quickly ahead of Rob and Ben as they all negotiate turn 1. Brian's still in 10th though, he's sort of recovered. Leon's gone feral and has gone wide at the first corner, and the unfortunate Chris at the back, but Kevin it is that leads. Rob now still under massive pressure from Ben. Ben trying to pull the same move as he did on the first lap, and this time gets it done and pulls it tight. Rob's looking for the overlap, but it's just not quite there, and here come the Hyundais with the BMW of Sean in tow. Rob covers that situation pretty well though, moves to the inside. Power of the Hyundai gets him round the outside, but that's not the ideal racing line and it won't work. Fina BMW does maintain position ahead of the SO Hyundai, who's now trying to go around the outside. Meanwhile, Adam trying to get down the outside of Nathan, didn't work. Moves to the outside of the hairpin to try and make that move work, but it doesn't work either on either corner. So make some sort of English out of this. Liam's still pushing on. Sean for company, and those 2, well, let's say there's a lot of Scottish swearing after the second race. Came to blows a little bit after the race, and I'm sure they'll try to make it a bit cleaner in this race. You get 2 feisty Scotsmen, then it does cause chaos. Adam's off in the background meanwhile in the Toyota, and he's trying to close the gap on the pack, and that's not going to help. His charge through in race 2 was pretty cool to watch, but needs to keep it on the black stuff. Leon, look at the speed of that Lexus as he just goes flashing past Brian on the straight. Jeff now on the comeback after his dramas on the first lap, and Nick, as we saw, lost it completely on the uphill rise. Kevin with about a 3.5 second lead. That is massive in touring cars. I wonder if he's seen his Kevin McAllister sticker on his window yet. Well, if he hasn't, he knows now. That was Ashley, not me, by the way. Meanwhile, the Hyundai's looking close, and they need to sort this out. Lewis looks a little bit quick at the moment. Liam's covering him. Lewis goes to the inside anyway, and now we'll just throw one up the inside and they'll sort this out hopefully. Nope, Liam maintains the position around the outside. Good driving. Sean though, with the heat of the other Demon Tweaks car of Nathan right on his bumper now, and Adam also just starting to get towards the back of that pack now after his excursion at the last corner. Ben though in third's pulling away from this group, and he'll be happy about that. And Andrew doing a much better job. He's in 10th place in this one. Teammate in 11th, Leon, who retired from the last race due to catastrophic damage, I think is the only way of putting it. Kevin though with an easy lead at the moment in the Mazda, and you see it's a massive lead, and well, we'll keep an eye on lap times to see if Ben can close. Now he's in 2nd place, so that's a 40.2, plays a 40.1, so a 10th off, but you're going to need a lot more than that to catch Kevin. Say a pretty ace driver, to be honest, in anything he drives. Dedicates himself fully to sim racing, and pretty good livery maker as well. We've got a few guys like that. Ash is an exceptional case there, and Liam makes the odd good livery as well when he's finished moaning. Andrew though just starting to drop off the back of Ash, who's doing a much better job in this race. 7th in the first race, I think he was around about 11th in the second race, so he's looking to get inside the top 10 this race. Leon though as well having a bit of a better go at it, but hampered by those start issues. He's completely out of place in all 3 of these races, so our apologies to Leon for all the problems that's caused by the game. That's all we can do really. Rob though looking around the outside of Nathan. Nathan's not having it all his own way like he did in the first 2 races. He's in the pack, and that does cost you a lot of time and tyre. When you can't run your lines and you're constantly having to defend your position, it does cost you a lot of track time and tyre wear. But it's Liam in 3rd, Sean 4th, Lewis 5th, ahead of Adam in 6th, and then it's Nathan, and then it's Rob at the back of the group, and then just detached from that is Ashley. So again, across the line we'll keep an eye on the lap times of the leaders just to see if anything changes. But Nathan now trying to go around the outside of Adam. Got a good slipstream from the Hyundai in front as well. He may pull that off. And Andrew's looking down the inside of Ash, so that Lexus is so fast on the straight, it's got him into play. And here's Kevin with a big lead, and Ben's taken half a second in that last lap and set fastest lap of the race. So this could be on, as long as he can maintain that pace. But we know from the first 2 races that the Subaru wasn't the best on tyres, especially Ben's in the battle pack, and Adam's slowing down for a penalty, which is probably not the best place to do that, to be honest, but it's worked, and then he cheekily gets an overlap on Nathan and retakes one of the positions he lost. You can see Ash in the background now starting to edge away from Andrew in the twisty bits, but Alexis makes up half that time back on the straight, so it's quite hard to pull away from. Through the chicane they come again. And the Lexus car's doing much better in this race than they have in the first 2 meetings. But here is Kevin, and it does look like he's sort of responded this lap. Ben, if anything's dropping back towards Liam a little bit, and Sean sideways there from Lewis, and now looks like Nathan has got past these 2, and let's see how he did it. So it was round the outside of the hairpin, cameraman sorted it out, and all went a bit see-through, which is worrying. And he managed to go around the outside of both of them, so great driving from Nathan, as you'd expect, the season 2 champion. And now looking to back that up with a season 4 championship and a very strong Subaru team. Liam though is in a very strong Hyundai team, and he's holding off the last season's champion, and Sean, hence the number 1, sort of gives it away. And that time actually Kevin took back about a quarter of a second or so. It's quite hard for me to see the times because the screen's quite small. It does look like he's pulled back a bit of time there, so that might be the end of that. On board with Sean, and now on board with Liam, as these 2, who like I say came to blows at the end of the second race after more contact between the 2, look to have sorted their differences out in this race, but you just get the feeling it's going to implode. Lovely BMW livery there. Used 88, 89, 90 sort of times. Sean trying to go around the outside. That's brave, because Liam will just use his racing line, and does, and it's imploded. And Sean's going to feel like he was forced off, but really that was the racing line. So we think we can call that 1-1. Sean's brave to put himself in that position, knowing touring cars you can run that line, and that's kind of accepted as fair. Well, not so much fair, but racing. And that's a good chicane from Andrew, who's caught back up to Ash and would have had a run on him, but I think Ash positioned his car properly, and that didn't allow Andrew to get the run up the hill. So we move into the second part of this race. So still out front is Kevin. We'll have to keep an eye on those lap times as Nathan now moves on to the back of Lewis again. Nathan not quite making the progress that we've seen, and if Nathan has got a weakness, it tends to be reverse grid races. Doesn't quite get through the pack as quick as some of the others, but Kevin leads, and he's lost 3 tenths that lap to Ben. Third is Liam, 4th is Sean, 5th is Lewis, 6th is Nathan. They flash across the line in an instant. Adam is still 7th, and quiet for him, with Rob just behind him. So Rob doing a much better showing as well. And Nathan's now up past Lewis and into 5th. And there is Rob, speaking of him, number 14. Ash now pulled away from Andrew, so obviously something's happened there. Leon with Jeff all over him. Leon will be loving this. Loving a bit of a battle. He does like a battle, does Leon, as much as he loves a drink or a beard. And the recovering Mustang is also doing pretty well as well to get some sort of points out of this. Kevin though does look like he's being closed down slightly by that Subaru of Ben. Meanwhile the other one's now trying to attack the BMW of Sean, the reigning champion. Sean covers that on the inside. Slight lock up, and Lewis thought about putting himself in that position as well, but didn't quite work out. So these two in a Hyundai sandwich right now. And then sideways from Sean. Sean's lost it. Can Nathan respond to that? Be dirty tyres on the BMW. Nope. Tries to do a cutback, but Sean's alive to that. I've driven that car last season. He probably knows the strengths of it. Knows that it guns off the corner pretty well. And that lap again, a couple tenths from Ben. And, well, it's got 3 laps to get something done. It might not be enough time, I don't think. Leon's feeling the need to move around on the straight to try and break Jeff. Not ideal. And Brian's still in 15th place. But he'll get a point for that. Kevin with Kevin McAllister in the side window. But yeah, that gap does look a lot closer. Liam just off the back of this as well, not quite in touch. He's having to defend quite a lot from Nathan and the rest. But what a close championship we have this season. These 3 races just going to show that there's 4 or 5 teams that could win this championship. Nathan setting the fastest second sector, but he's stuck up behind that Hyundai Ultra car, or Ultron. Until he can get past there, he can't really set his own lap times. And all the while he'll be using tyre strength and tyre grip. And Liam's sort of just driving his lines. And that may pay later in the race for him. Adam's now back again. I don't know where he's been, but he's back again. And he'll definitely try and get involved in this. We saw that in the second race that he managed to take like 3 positions in 1 lap. So now Sean thinks about wide from Lewis, and that's going to put Adam onto him. As now Nathan looks like he's got the inside, but we know that BMW's quick down the straight, but not quick enough because Nathan's still there and he takes the position. And Lewis does lose out to Adam after running wide at the last corner. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, and another 3 attempts taken from Ben, but I don't think that's going to be enough unless he can have a mega lap 9 out of 10. Liam though, as he has been for most of the race, defending. But now he's got Nathan there, and Sean will want to return the favour of being pushed off earlier in the race. Probably in his eyes. Nathan round the outside, that's audacious. Did it work? It did. What a move. Take that. That's just grip. And Nathan seems to have a lot of it despite his battling. Maybe that's why he didn't move forward so quickly earlier in the race. He was saving tyres. Bit of a nudge at the back. And was that from Liam? It put him a bit wide. But now war has commenced again between the two Scottish drivers, and Sean's looking for the outside line. Liam's meanwhile trying to retaliate to Nathan, and well, now Adam's got involved and it's all gone a bit see-through and a bit more contact and wide from Liam. But this time Sean doesn't take the position, so Adam gains 2 places there. Pretty clever overtake that. Just waited for these two to get at each other. He probably knows they were screaming at each other in a chat earlier, and knew that sparks would fly. Now Sean tries to go around the outside and pretty much put himself in the same position as last time, and the same result, onto the grass. And here's the lead. Well, onto the last lap, and Ben now sort of in the slipstream, but I still think Kevin's got enough of a lead. And Nathan third, as we know, and he looks like he's already pulling away from that battle as Adams move up to 4th, as we know. And now Ash is taking a penalty, so it must have been a corner cut one. Leon 10th now, so some sort of reward for that stunning qualifying lap at the start of the night. But Kevin is definitely under threat now, and they'll be seeing the flashing lights of the Subaru, and he's gone wide in the death corner, and that's going to lose him at least 2-3 tenths, and Ben's gunned it off the corner as well. So now battle is commenced, but we're trying to cut across 2 battles, and this one's actually happening at the moment, so we've got to cover it. And looks like now Sean's finally got an overlap on Liam as they head down into this bottom corner. Liam moves over a little bit of contact, more contact, bit more contact. Liam's across the grass, comes back on sideways in front of Sean. Sean won't be happy about that. Ben's thinking about the inside move at the hairpin, doesn't quite get it done, and Kevin covers that quite well. So he's only really got one more chance, and that's to be fast through that bottom chicane, and more contact. And now it's banger racing, and Sean's past Liam. A little punt up the back and sideways, and that's put him through. I'm sure there'll be more aggro about that, but it looks like Kevin's going to win on his debut night, and it's going to be the race 3 reverse grid. He pulled away at the start and then managed his tyres well. Ben couldn't quite get there, and it's going to be a win for Kevin. Well done to him in the Mazda. So Kevin wins, Ben's second, third will be Nathan, 4th will be Adam, almost certainly, and it is. And 5th for Sean, 6th for Lewis, 7th for Liam, 8th for Rob. So it takes this penalty. Ash will be 9th, and he'll be a bit more pleased with that, although spinning across the grass isn't ideal. 10th for Jeff, 11th for Andrew, almost certainly, we'll just make sure of that. And across the line, and yet again we will have to confirm these results, but one thing is for sure, his 14th is his teammate. Kevin is the winner, his first win in British touring cars. I'm sure he's learnt a lot tonight about the physical side of it, but also the racing side. So Kevin wins in the 46 Mazda. Second Ben, third was Nathan, 4th for Adam, 5th Sean, 6th Lewis, 7th Liam, loses out at the end, and then it's Rob in 8th for the BMW, 9th for Ash, 10th for Jeff, 11th for Andrew, 12th for Nick. So the BMW's filling up the midfield. 13th then for Chris, 14th for Leon, so that didn't work out in the end. 15th for Brian, so a few place changes there at the end. Unlucky again for Leon, as I said. Fastest lap goes to Ben in his pursuit of Kevin. So the points, Nathan leads 70 points ahead of Ben on 60, then it's Lewis, Adam, Sean, Liam and Kevin, and running out the top 8 is Rob on 28 points. So still pretty close even after these first 3 races, as you'd expect. And then in the bottom half is Ashley, then it's Chris, Jeff, Nick, Andrew, Leon, Brian, and then Paul didn't race tonight for reasons we're still not clear on, but he will be replaced. Teams Championship, Subaru 130, then Hyundai, then it's Toyota, BMW, Mobile 1, Mazda, BMW, Fina, then Ford, then Lexus, bringing up the rear on 19 points. So that was KYOTO. Next week we're at Blue Moon Bay, and I'm sure the action will be just as intense. Thanks for joining us for this. Check out our other races.